Hello and welcome to part 3 of our Hit the Books Instructional video series. Today, I'll be going over how to organize your comics inside the books, how to easily label them, and how to protect your comics from being damaged inside the boxes. Be sure to stick around, hit like and subscribe, and check out the rest of our instructional videos on our YouTube channel and on our website at www.hdbvids.com. Without further ado, let's get into it. How to organize your newly boxed comics. If you haven't seen our box video, you can look it up on our YouTube channel and check out where to get these boxes and how to properly put them together. Sometimes common sense eludes us, even though most of them have little instructional numbers, and you end up with something like this where you screwed up and you tore the box. So watch that video to avoid any kind of painstaking things like that for yourself. Alright. Here you see these two boxes. I've had them quite a while for parts of my collection, and you can see they've resisted some damage. You got some black marks here, probably rubbed up on something in the closet. Here you got some moisture, some little impact marks on here from resisting any potential damage. So it's definitely worth boxing your comics after bagging and boarding them. It'll just keep them organized, it'll keep them manageable, and it'll prevent them from getting any kind of excess damage here. Alright, you'll notice they have the little handles here on the side, and we'll talk about a method to make sure that your fingers don't accidentally, fingernails don't actually scratch through the bags on the inside. Make sure that you aren't accidentally bending your comics and damaging them when you reach inside to pick one of these up, alright? So, first off, let's open these babies up, see what we got inside. Alright, so here we have two examples of how you might want to organize your collection. Here, this seems to be my catch-all box where I haven't gotten to organizing and labeling everything yet. And as you can see, it's pretty full because I always have a backlog. And on the ends here, you'll notice I have boards. Now, the reason I have these boards on the end is so that you do not have to run the risk of accidentally damaging your comics when you reach into these holes, okay? So you can actually have that protective board. You might even want to put 2 or 3 just in case, because these boards are pretty flexible. But this will just prevent you from accidentally poking your finger through and damaging your beloved comics behind the board. Here we got Three Devils #1 from IDW. So always, always, always put some kind of protective layer in front of these holes, and that'll make sure that your comic collection does not get damaged. I don't know if anybody has a real preference for how they box their comics, but just always make sure that the comic is not being bent, it's not pressed up against the side. Every once in a while you'll get comics that get bunched up a little bit and they start pushing one comic into the side of the box and it starts to damage them. So make sure that everything's flat, it's smooth, it's easy to finger through. You don't want to pack these so tight that you can't even look at them, okay? This is just going to make your life hard when you're trying to find a comic you're looking for. And it's going to cause your comics to get smushed, and they'll be so flat that you can't even barely open them without, potentially damaging them. And there is such a thing as the comic, falling too flat and becoming quite a mess to deal with, alright? So keep it loose enough that you can skim through it easily without damaging a comic, alright? And you don't have to force your fingers down and smush one of the covers in order to pull one out, alright? So that's just easy tips that I've had to learn from experience here. On the right side you see a much less full box, a box that is still in progress, and there's several ways to handle this. You obviously don't want your comics so loose that they're just falling over, they're pressing up against each side. It's just going to lead to big problems and damaging your comics in the long run. Alright, so let's get this one out of the way now that we're done with her. And look at this box here. As you can see, this is the smaller size box. It's not one of the long boxes. I just find this easier to manage because I store it out in the open and it's much easier to carry one of these boxes than one of those really, really long boxes there. So here you see I got my collection, and I just have an old hardcover book keeping these comics upright. It's not pressed so hard that I can't skim through it easily. I can still look through it without bending the comics or anything like that. I can still pull them out without shoving my finger in there. Got another beautiful Lady Mechanica book in there. And I can easily pull these comics up and out. As you might have noticed, there's several little tags here that I have used to my advantage. All I do here, and this just makes organizing specific collections very easy. As you can see, we have my beloved Hush collection in here, original Hush covers. We got the Death of Wolverine, Lady Mechanica, we got our Looney Tunes variants. I got some of my autograph books in here that I still need to hang up. Probably some Banks covers in here with Kyle Rayner. Yeah. So this is just a simple method to maintain your collection. All you do is you take one of your extra boards right here, and you're just going to put that in there with a little post-it note on top, alright? As you see here, I'll make one right now for you. Again, common sense here. You're not going to want to write this direction because it's going to stick to the board like this. So you want to flip the post-it note upside down, write whatever collection you're going to put on here. So in this case, we'll just put Hit the Books. So here we have Hit the Books. We're going to label our new Hit the Books collection. We're going to throw this right on top there. Keep the sticky part completely on the cardboard. You don't want any of this glue getting loose in your bag. And you want to bend it just a little bit. Not so much that it's like sticking out, but bend it just a little bit so it's easy to survey. And bend it in the direction of your comics. So we'll pretend this convergence isn't here, and we're just going to put this as the Hit the Books collection, alright? We'll slide this right there, and we'll loosen our book so we can get there. Hit the Books. So we know from here on out until the next tag, this is the Hit the Books comic collection going forward. And you can color code like I have previously here. It's all up to you. You can be creative and do many different things. When you have a small amount, an unfilled box of comics like this, a lot of people like to take their comics and turn them sideways so that it only fills this way, and they keep them stored like that until they have enough to fill an entire box. This isn't a terrible method. It's not going to probably hurt you in the long run. It's probably not going to damage your comics. But I would say this is a less efficient way than just taking an old tattered book that you're not reading or using and shoving it in there lightly. You know, I use the word shoving sparingly. Lightly, just to make a little bit of resistance in there to keep your comics upright. As you can see, there's still a little play here. I'm not bending the comics. They're completely vertical and upright, not being damaged. And this little book will keep them in place when I'm moving them around. And you don't have to worry about your comics falling over, folding over, getting caught up or anything. If you do what a lot of people do and you flip it horizontally and you store it from left to right, what happens is your comics will occasionally start to slide this way. So you'll have 3 or 4 comics spilling out this way, and when you go to reach in through this hole here, you end up damaging those comics or bending those comics on the side. So just get something that's roughly the length of the missing space. This book is almost perfect, but it's a little bit too long, so you got to curve it just a little bit. And again, all you want to do is have that little bit of resistance in there, and that'll keep your comic book collection nice and safe and tidy, and you have this nice, beautiful, organized collection that you can easily go through and manage, read, and search for any comic you feel like reading or displaying, or doing whatever you feel like you need to do with your collection, alright? Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comment below. or tweet us at HTBvids on our channel. I'll be happy to help you out. If you have any creative ideas or suggestions for people trying to manage their comic collections in a different, unique way, please comment and send us a tweet, anything like that. Comment on our Facebook channel and let us know. Thanks for watching part 3 of our Hit the Books Instructional video series. Be sure to hit like and subscribe down below if you like what you heard, and comment any tips or tricks you have for us that we can update in the future. Remember, this is all one big community, and we all benefit from helping each other out. If you like what you saw, be sure to check out part 4 of this instructional video series, where we'll go over how to affordably frame and hang your art in your home and ensure that everybody can appreciate the comics that you love. See you next time.